Hey guys, it's Erin, and tonight I want to talk about celebrating losses, which seems like a weird thing to celebrate because normally you celebrate victories. But in this case, we are going to learn to celebrate losses, and here's why. Every time you lose something, you gain something else. And right now, we're all losing a lot of stuff, and it feels really bad, and it feels really overwhelming, and it feels really stressful. But if we learn to celebrate those losses by focusing on what we're gaining, it changes our perspective, it changes our point of view, and it makes the situation a little bit easier to handle. So I had a really interesting night tonight. Tonight I had to go to the grocery store and I had to go on a really tight budget. Now I don't want to give you too much information about, my husband and I and our finances, but I'll tell you, we've been married for about 20 years, and the first, I'm not even kidding, 15 years were really tough financially. And it's just been recently that we've been more comfortable. We're not rich by any means, but we're comfortable to the point where we have some flexibility in our budget. Not anymore. During this stay at home and shelter in place and quarantine, we are on an extremely tight budget. So when I went to the grocery store tonight, I had to make $100 go a really long way. And each time I walked by something that I wanted, I had to figure out if it was something I needed and if it was something I could afford, or I had to think about what could I give up to get this instead. And I mean, my budget was down to like the penny. And I got home with the groceries, and the family was unloading it with me, and none of them got anything that they really wanted. My son likes candy, my daughter likes the really expensive granola bars, we like to have the name brand soda, and we couldn't get any of that stuff. And nobody complained. And in other circumstances, they would have. They would have, oh, you forgot this, and why didn't you get me this? And I like this brand, why did you get the off brand? But nobody complained. In fact, they acted really excited and really grateful. And it was, I don't want to say fun because it wasn't fun, but it was certainly an adventure to try to figure out how I was going to feed 4 people for an entire month with a fourth of the grocery budget that we normally have. But I did it. So today I am celebrating that loss. I am celebrating that loss of income because the gain I got was creativity, ingenuity, and certainly humility. This family has never been as humble as we are right now. And it's not that we were egomaniacs before. I just don't think any of us really appreciated the life that we've been able to create for ourselves. And my kids especially, I'm so proud of my kids in this process because my kids are self-centered, just like all kids are, and like most adults are, frankly. When I mean self-centered, it doesn't mean they're selfish people. They just think the world revolves around them a lot of times, and it's not so much that they want stuff, like material things. It's more like they want to do stuff. Can I go to this place? Will you take me here? Can we go see a movie? Can we go to Urban Air? Will you take me to my friend's house? And since this whole thing started, they haven't asked. Not once. They get it. And I think they realize that life is not really about a social life. Life isn't about who gets invited to the party or who gets to go to bowling or to the baseball game. They're understanding that in life we have to sacrifice. And we're all sacrificing right now. Which brings me to another loss that I want to celebrate, and that is the loss of tribalism. If you don't know what tribalism is, it's this form of protecting people just like you, and it's been around forever. We are tribal people, we protect our own. But I heard someone say on the news today that this entire country is sacrificing for people who are not as strong as we are and people who are not as healthy as we are. We are giving up our jobs, our money, our economy, and our freedom to keep every single American safe. The elderly, the compromised, the ones with the underlying medical conditions. And I think that's a pretty cool thing. I want to help people, but I am not brave enough to be a police officer or a firefighter or a nurse or a doctor or a first responder. I just don't have that in me. That's why I became a motivational speaker, because I want to help people, but I don't want to face dangerous situations because I am the absolute worst person you want around in an emergency. But I think I can talk to people and make them feel good. So that's why I have the job that I have. And so when I really start to get down about this whole thing, I remember that what I'm doing is helping people. And it's not just staying home that is helping people, although that's a huge part of it, but these sacrifices that we're making socially and financially and economically and mentally, this is all for the greater good. And by making these sacrifices, we are making this world a healthier, safer place. You're all doing your part, and there's something very heroic about that. So as we think about the losses and we think about the things that we have given up, think about the things we have gained. We have given up ego, and we have gained humility. We have given up finances, but we've gained appreciation. And we've given up a lot of freedoms, but we've gained the ability to be heroic and unselfish. And if that's what we get out of this, then maybe it's not as horrible as it sometimes feels. Celebrate your losses. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay home, and most importantly, stay positive. See you tomorrow.